living in a time where it's unprecedented in terms of the number of generations. Mine being in the traditional generation, then you got your boomers, you got your X generation, you got your Y generation, and now the millennium generation, which I don't know a whole lot about, but in terms of that scenario, and all these generations are in this salad bowl, and you probably have people in many of those generations. What do you, or how do you deal with that? How do you get them to kind of think together to accomplish the mission and the goals of your organization, your business?
I think it ties in a little bit with Kevin's question about talents and strengths. So I think, you know, there's probably talents and strengths the older generation brings that the younger generation doesn't, vice versa. So I think it's just hopefully giving that each kind of demographic or age group an opportunity to shine and kind of share their talents among each other. With us, we have an emerging leaders program, so it's people who aren't yet in management, but they show leadership skills. And so that's the oldest person in that emerging leaders program is probably about 55, and the youngest is about 22. So that gives them an opportunity. There's about 20 people, and they get the opportunity to work together and kind of share some of their strengths and passions and how they want to move the company ahead. So it's a pretty good forum, because now that, you know, they're just kind of growing together and getting to know each other, and it's been a pretty effective program.
I love this question. This is right up my alley. So we say in our presentations all the time that as human beings we're 99.9% the same from a DNA standpoint. That's a fact. And what's helped us is, as a relatively young industry, trying to appeal to older generations, is to apply these lenses and say we all go through seasons of life. We're all the same. We just go through seasons of life. And helping my staff understand the modality of spring versus winter has been huge for them to be able to do their job effectively, but not only that, but to understand themselves and how they relate to someone older, like Frank's older than I am. How to relate to one another. And so that's been huge for us, you know, not to think of ourselves as us versus them, young versus old, but as one. And man, where I'm trying to go with that is the ultimate unifier is Christ. So if I can get our business there, I think that'll be when the generations really start to work well together.
I think listening and leadership, and listening is not just to words, but behaviors and body language and such. I'll give you an example. One of the members of my staff is probably 25, and it's very common for me to walk past his desk and see him reading a Twitter feed or something that many of us might be like, on company time? Are you kidding me? And I have to kind of check myself in that because this is a connected generation. And oh, by the way, Frank, you're in this technology company, and you're happy that this kid grew up with this stuff because it makes him better at what he's doing, and he's a great employee. But if I just kind of shot from the hip, because I'm not really listening with all of those senses, I would crush this guy and hurt my business. And then leadership is crucial. He, like everybody, needs leadership, and I need to take opportunities to lead him where he needs to go for his own benefit and for working with, you know, in the context of our organization.
The only thing I'll add to the wonderful comments that were already given is no matter what generation we belong to, truth doesn't change from generation to generation. And I think it's our responsibility to be able to speak to every generation real facts and real truth. I think one of the problems that we're having as a nation right now is many times we are ignoring plain facts and plain truth. And trying to live under an aspiration maybe that we have rather than dealing with, you know, facts. So I think that in our company, the clearer we portray reality and helps us all kind of see the real picture, and then from there we can communicate with one another and hopefully be effective at what we do.